Happy Saturday, gang. Happy Saturday. What's up? What's up? Happy Saturday. Hey, Wasted Experience. Good morning, beautiful queen. I hope you got your planner in the mail. Let me know how it goes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Saturday, guys. Good morning. I have some really great things to talk about today, as always. Good morning. I'm your girl, Finance Muslima. I am your licensed life insurance agent in the states of North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Georgia. I am your financial coach. I am all things mindset and money. All things mindset and money. We talk about personal development. We talk about our money goals. We can talk about some religion, slaying, staying connected to God. Beyonce says, slay or you get eliminated. You started on Monday. You're super excited, guys. That's what I like to hear. Beyonce says, slay or you will get eliminated. I'm not getting eliminated, okay? Because guess what? I'm working. Working. I love working. Not draining myself, but working. So slay what it is that you do, or you will get eliminated. So I'm super excited. I'm happy. Thank you so much for the support, Wasted Experience. Keep up on your journey with your financial planner. If you're running into any shortcomings, reach out to your girl. I got you. Thank you, girlie. I appreciate you. I'm excited too for what the planner will help you stay consistent on your goals. Let me know how much money you're able to save. We're going into March. Today is the 27th, so set some goals right now for the month of March. I want you to save $500 if you can. Let me know if you can save $500 or just hit it close. Stay connected with me and let me know if you're hitting them goals. I love to hear the positive feedback from everything that it is I do. I've never really have any negative feedback, so I'm gonna just say the feedback all around. Like you guys have been super, super dope to me for 11 years. I appreciate you guys. If you are new and you're not subscribed to the email list, you can go to www.faithfamilyfinance.co. Get you some freebies. Check out all the financial tools and resources that you need to get to slay so you don't get eliminated. I'm not letting nobody outwork me. I'm working. www.faithfamilyfinance.co, guys. Go subscribe to the email list. Stay connected. Find out when I jump on these lives. Find out when I have discounts going on. Find out when I have things going on that fit your need, because everybody's need is different based upon where you at, what you have going on. For the if you don't know, for the month of February, I decided to do a financial planning special. So what I did was I did 12 days of financial planning online. If you did not have access to them, then maybe you're not on the email list and you didn't know about them. So what I did was I broke down on some lives 12 days of financial planning, what needs to be done or what I do personally in a full financial planner report. If you've never sat with a financial professional, a financial coach, a financial advisor, you don't know what a financial plan looks like, what it consists of, what is in it, what is the value in it, what how long this thing will last you for the rest of your life. Then I broke down every single step in 12 days of what it includes. If you missed out, you missed out on some really great bucks. Because guess what? If you sit with a financial advisor, Charles Schwab, Edward Jones, so forth, they charge about probably $1,200 to $1,500 just for a financial plan. Thank you so much. I'm glad that it helped you. Wasted Experience says that it helped her very much. So thank you. I'm grateful for that. That was exactly the plan. So if you've never sat with a financial professional, they charge about $1,200 to $1,500 for a financial planning. It's something that every single person needs to get done, regardless of where you're at currently. And and you need it because it's the recipe, it's the strategy to where you got to create a strategy and a plan to get to that next level, guys. It don't matter if you have $0 at the end of each month. You need to have a financial plan. How do you plan to differ? How do you plan to hit 10,000 every month? You have to have a plan. 50,000, 100,000, a $500,000 in 6 months. You have to have a plan. It can be done whether you start with zero or not. So I broke that down over 12 days. And then my due diligence. So what I said was for the month of February, I was going to cut the financial planning cost in half for you guys for Black History Month. And I was like, people were reaching out, like, they need it. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe some people can afford it. I'll be nice this month. I'm always nice, right? So I cut it in half from $300 to $150 for the month of February, the one-on-one financial planning. It entails a lot. So if you want to know what it entails, you can go to the website. Good morning, Bougie Girls, www.faithfamilyfinance.co, and you can check out all that entails in the one-on-one financial planning that's on sale currently for $150. Today is the 27th. So we literally have one. No, I said I was closing it tonight at midnight because I was only really accepting two more people, and that was it because we're kicking off the top of March. And if you don't get in tonight at midnight, it's going to be a wrap. That's it. I'm done. I'm not accepting anymore. I don't know when I'll do it again. All of my ladies that locked in their spot with the 150, we're going to have we're going to do some really, really great things. I'm super excited. So that's it. Now that you guys are online, I hope that you said your prayers before you picked up your phone today, because I always say that prayers, affirmations, and then go focus on making an impact. But before we can make an impact, we have to focus on ourselves, set the tone for the day, and take action and put your day, your life in control every single day. So before you picked up this phone, I hope you said your prayers. I said my prayers. I didn't get a couple of things done. I decided to get done before I jumped on here, but it's all good. God is good. Life is good. We blessed. I got about two different things I'm working on. I hope that I can slam in really literally like 2 weeks. So it's all good. Life is going to be what it's going to be. But guess what? God is in control, and that is the most important thing. And I'm definitely, I want God to plan it, and I want to go accordingly to his plan because I know that that's going to be the best for me. Good, bad, or different. If it goes sideways, if God say go left, I wanted to go right. We know how that is, right? We had a plan and he had a bigger plan. So whatever the case may be, I know that it's going to work out for the best. And I want to encourage you guys, whatever currently you have on your plate personally as well, don't worry about it. You're going to be all right. I promise everything's going to be okay. I'm saying it to you guys as I'm speaking it to myself as well, right? So today I'm going to talk about um, breaking down and putting emphasis on term policies. Term policies. It's a huge difference between a term policy, if you don't know, okay, so term life insurance policy. It's a huge difference in the term life insurance policy versus a permanent life insurance policy. But you guys always hit me up with questions, and my clients are just like, people reach out, or what should I say, potential clients, and they're like, yeah, I need to get a term policy, or yeah, I need to get a whole life. And I'm always asking them, like, why do you need this? What is your goal for your life insurance policy? And sometimes people don't know. They haven't thought that far, but they have made the step and do know they need to get some coverage, right? Which is the great thing for the first step. But I want to break down to you guys specifically today. I'm going to start with the term life insurance policy. And I'm going to break down some things because, guys, this is the thing. I love my position and the ability that I have as being a licensed life insurance agent to give you guys what the differentiation is. Because a term policy, a whole policy, a permanent policy, like everything is not for your household and everything is not for your legacy and your goal that you want for your family, for your empire, right? So you need to know what it is your plan is before you can even say, okay, I need this. Because if you tell me, if you hit me up and you tell me, I want to get this, I need that, I'm going to say, I'm going to ask you why. Because then, look, I'm a professional. Like, I know this life insurance game, right? I'm going to tell you, oh, well, you don't need that. You need this, X, Y, Z. But sometimes we just don't know. And that is why you should work with a professional who knows the game, who knows the ins and outs of the pros and cons of all different life insurance policies so that they can make the best option for you based on what you tell them your needs and desires are. I don't know if you guys know. So I'm going to break down the term policy with living benefits, right? So first I'm going to explain to you guys what a term life insurance policy is. A term life insurance policy is a policy that has an expired time on it and it only covers different things versus a permanent policy, right? So a term life insurance policy typically starts at 10, 15, 20, 25, 30-year fix. Like you have a mortgage are related to that, right? You have a 20, 30-year mortgage, it expires, right? Some people like to push to pay out the mortgage for 30 years. Some people don't. A term life insurance policy will expire on that year. So you can start out with a 10, 15, 20, 25, 30-year fix. This is the thing with a term policy, right? I always tell my clients based upon what your situation is, a term life insurance policy is always something good to get in the game if you have nothing. But remember, it has an expiration date. So an expiration date for so let's say you start a term policy with a 20-year fix, right? And you want to and life start happening and you really keep this thing for 20 years, right? If me as the professional don't reach back out to you and I know that you have more life to live and this policy will expire, then I feel like I'm not fully doing my job because I'll be like, okay, this is something that we could get in for now, but we need to shift it to a permanent policy, right? When you're ready or when you can afford a premium. Because this is the side to a perm policy, right? Okay, so I'm 37 years old. You start a 20-year fix, right? Say you start a 20-year life term life insurance policy at 37 years old. That term life insurance policy will last me until I'm 57 years old. If I do not convert it or switch it with my agent into a permanent policy, that policy, I'm going to outlive that policy. Why? Because the typical age for a Black woman right about now is like 90, 80, 90 years old. That's the typical life expectancy per se, right? So if I'm 57, okay, so I'm 37 years old. I decide to get into a 20-year term life insurance policy. 20-year term life insurance policy takes me to I'm 57. Now I'm 57 years old. I have no life insurance because I've outlived that policy. So people are like, oh, well, what about the money? All the premiums I paid. You don't get nothing. Especially if you only have the death benefit side of it, right? That you only signed up for the part that if you transition, your family will collect. If you didn't have anything extra add-ons to the policy, so you don't get anything. You might have spent a $500,000 in 20 years on premiums, and that's it. You don't have anything else, so you just lost out. You didn't transition, So it's no funeral, it's no death benefit, right? You didn't add anything extra into the policy, so it's no other way for you to collect. Now you're 57 years old and you have to start a new life insurance policy. Do you understand how very crucial and how very important this conversation is? Listen, when you then 57 years old trying to start a life insurance policy, you know how many people walking around our neighborhoods 57 years old with no life insurance? If you 57 years old trying to start a life insurance policy, do you know your premiums? Just due to the age, your premiums will probably be $200 a month. Who's going to pay it? The first thing, oh, I can't afford it. That's too much. Oh, I don't need it. My family will figure it out when it's my time. That's so selfish of a person. We need to get our own personal affairs in order prior to the time and stop waiting to the last minute. Now, it goes by age and medical. Life insurance goes by age and medical. People are telling me, oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's why we need to talk about this conversation. Life insurance goes by age and the medical history. Now, only part I said was if you was 57 years old, due to the age, your premium from the RIP is going to be expensive, right? Unless you say, okay, let me just go with a whole life policy or something like that. Typically, that's what people do in ages of 40, 50 years old because they feel whole life is less inexpensive, right? And it'll last you for your whole life, exactly what it is. But this is the thing, it's no money in it. It's 10, 15, 20, $30,000. You probably get covered for about 40, $50 a month, right? But it's no money. Life insurance is meant to leave legacy. So why wait and do that when you can set up your legacy from the beginning and make you a nice plan? We have children, we got assets and things that we're leaving behind. Like, let's plan this thing out. Now I'll give you the second part of it. Suppose you're 57 years old, you outlived that 20-year term life insurance policy, right? So now you need insurance. So okay, this is the thing. The age is the first thing that come into play. You're 57 years old. Now let's talk about the medical history. That is the ultimate number one thing. Let's talk about the medical history. Do you guys understand how many things are just hereditary passed down to us in our family of things that we're going to get and we don't know, regardless of how healthy and safe we may play throughout our life? Is diseases that's been passed down in our family. And I'm not saying something's going to happen to everybody, but you gotta play as if it will. Because if it does, what do? Your time is up. You waited too long. Now you can't afford the necessary of what you need when you should have locked it in when you were younger. 57 years old. I see people on my timeline on Facebook, 30 years old, late 20s, posting saying they just had a mild stroke. We know people 20s, 30s, 40 years old dying from aneurysms, right? You can wake up and have various different things: diabetes, breast cancer, lung cancer, heart disease, strokes, heart attacks, people having them at young ages. So this is the thing. If you have, so then now you 57 years old. Who knows what you want? Who knows what we'll have at 57 years old? Yeah, we young, we popping, we good right now. Oh, I'm up on my game, or I'm healthy this week, but then next week it's like, and it happens. We all do it. But this is the thing. Have you ever thought about what your medical history or what your life would be like if that was the scenario at that age of 57 years old? What will you do? So now, if you know that 20-year fix them and burnt out, it's expired. So now you got to sit with a life insurance agent, get more coverage. 57 years old, you don't know. You may be diagnosed with, chronic asthma or diabetes. You might be on insulin, 2, 3 medications a day, right? They take all life insurance companies. It doesn't matter who you deal with. State Farm, Nationwide, Transamerica, Delaware Life. When it comes to annuities, it's a slew of them. Listen, it doesn't matter what life insurance company you go with. they're going to take age and medical history into consideration. So now you didn't wait it until you was 57 years old. You don't know what medical condition you'll have at that age. And now how do you afford it? You ever hear people say they can't afford life insurance? Like it's not on the thing of their monthly expenses to do. Like it's just not important to some people. Life insurance is in my mindset and money game planner. If you have a planner, I'm quite sure broken down in these expenses. Yeah, it says insurance, sample monthly budget in my life insurance 12-month planner. This is should be in your monthly expenses. It is a priority. Insurance, car and life. It's on your monthly expenses. So if there's anything you need to cut back, then you need to do so. But your life insurance needs to be on top of your monthly expenses every month as a priority to get paid. And there's no reason to not be able to afford it. There's too many different ways to make money out here nowadays. So you waited until you got the 20-year fix, and your life insurance agent, I don't know. I can't say they wasn't a bad agent. Maybe they did connect back with you and say, hey, you need to get something else. This is about to run out. But typically, 90% of the time, they not, because 90% of life insurance agents focus on sales. I don't focus on sales. I focus on education, right? So if you don't know enough, or if they don't explain it to you, they don't care. Like they just coming in, getting with you to get the sale, and you don't even be knowing these small things that is a huge difference in your life. 90% of life insurance agents only focus on the sales. 90% of realtors, they focus on the sale. And not to get sidetracked, but that's why it is not a good fit for me to work with a lot of different realtors, or they don't want to work with me, or some have shied away from working with me because a realtors, they're in sales, but it's crazy that they're. First of all, I'm gonna say this. A lot of realtors are not even educated in a lot of the game and what it takes. When they're brought into the industry, they know they have to sell, right? So 90% of the time, your typical life insurance agent is not, your typical realtor, when you sit with them, if you're a first time home buyer or if you're new to the game, whatever the case may be, they're not going to ask you about your budget. They don't care if you have $1,300 $1,500 a month to afford the mortgage, or what your lifestyle is currently. They don't care. So as much as we see realtors closing deals and they're making money and all these things, and all these families are starting these new journeys, guys, check out the foreclosure list. They're losing them as fast as they're getting them, because they're not sitting with a financial coach such as your girl. And you need to make sure that they're front end, and that's why we talk about that mindset and that money, and make sure you create start small habits that create lifestyle, so that when you make those very very extraneous important decisions like that, you already in gear. Because the people you're going to go sit with for sales, they're not worried about if you know what emergency fund is or not. They're not worried about if you have credit cards, if you maintain a good credit and you got cards in the tuck in case your heater or your stove go out, you can go cop, right? They're not worried about that. So you need to make sure you're worried about that before making these life changing decisions, or you'll be on the foreclosure list as well. When things such as a heart attack, cancer, stroke, all of these things, heart disease, when they happen, it leaves a really serious financial hardship on the family. Because now, who's going to pay the bills? That is your responsibility. Who's going to pay those things that you're used to paying for? Okay, so with a term life insurance policy, I don't know if you guys know, but you have, with certain ones, you're able to add a living benefit side to it, right? So you'll get your life insurance policy, which is your death benefit, right? And then death benefit is what your family would collect when you transition. Not if, but when you transition, because we all will. Um, Bougie Girl says, what company would I suggest to go with? It totally depends on the age of the client and again the goal of the client. So it depends on what you want the life insurance for, how old you are, because it depends. So I can't just say, oh, go in Nationwide, they're the best. Life insurance depends on what you want your insurance to do. Do you just want, are you a young and popping millennial and you just want $1 million worth of life insurance so that your family can collect? Are you um 35 years old, but I have light diabetes, and I just would like 50,000, something for my children to split up. It depends on the goal and what you want your policy to do. If you're not sure what you want your policy to do, I highly suggest you, Self Care Sunday is tomorrow. You sit down on your self care time and you write down physically in your planner what do I even want my life insurance to do. So first, you need to figure that out. And everybody's personal household and everybody's situation is different. If I know what it is you want your insurance to do, I'm more than willing to help you with that. Send me a message or connect with me and I'll help you. So the term life insurance policy, and then you have a living benefit side to that as well, right? A living benefit side is the side where you collect money while you're living in case any of these diseases and different things happen. Offering death benefit protection up to $2 million as well as a living benefit. The term policy is early access to your policy's death benefit in the event of qualifying chronic critical terminal illness while the client is still alive. Then you guys would say to me, well, what are those diseases? Why are they so important? They're very important because a lot of people get them. 90% of the population gain illnesses. People are getting sick. People are, it's not planned that, oh, I'm going to have, I'm going to need a bone marrow transplant. Like that's not something that's planned, but it happens. So this particular term life insurance policy I'm talking about with the living benefit side in it, the living benefit, I'm going to break down the three things that it covers. And if you have a pen, I highly suggest you guys to write these things down. We need to know what these is. So the first one I said that can be covered in term life insurance policy is your chronic illness. A chronic illness, having an illness unable to perform two of the six daily living activities. So if you get diagnosed with a chronic illness is when you're unable to perform two of the six daily things that we do on a daily basis. Taking a bath, getting dressed yourself, feeding yourself, going to the bathroom yourself, getting up from the couch and just simply walking out the door, transporting yourself, right? That typically happens to, a person. You may get in a car accident and get paralyzed. You may get diagnosed with MS. It affects your bones. You can't maybe get around the house and do your daily activities like you're supposed to do. So if that is the case, you can add, well, if you had a term life insurance policy with living benefits connected in that policy, you would be covered for chronic illness. So if that was to happen to you, you would be good. So I want to tell you guys, wait a minute, I have one other thing to tell y'all. That's the chronic illness. Okay. Chronic illness was the two of the daily living activities. Critical illness. Critical illness, like things such as a heart attack. Being critical ill means you've been diagnosed with a health condition. Critical illness is a heart attack, stroke, cancer, stage renal failure, ALS, or major organ transplant, blindness, you get paralyzed, or any of those conditions, right? Those conditions, if you're diagnosed with them, they would be considered critical illness situation. Critical illness also, the organ transplant. And the last one I want to tell you guys of the three that can be covered in the term life insurance policy is the terminal illness. Terminal illness. Terminal illness is just simply, I've been diagnosed with breast cancer. I had a tumor. They found it. I've been diagnosed with breast cancer, and I have 12 months or less to live. The doctor tells you you have 12 months or less time to live. How many of us online right now currently know a person that has experienced that situation? If you have, drop yes down in the chat. We on Facebook too as well, on a private Facebook group. I personally can say I know a lot of people that has been in a situation where the doctors gave them a certain amount of time to live. And don't think, oh, I'm young, I'm popping, I'm good, ain't nothing wrong with me, or oh, I'll work on that next year. Listen, you could be 20, 30, 18, 19 years old, and something happened, boom. Doctor tell you you got a certain amount of time to live. What do you do? So with a term policy, that's basically the situation. You can collect money out of the policy, or you can collect the death benefit, a percentage of the death benefit per se, if you have that doctor's note, and you provide that to the insurance company and say, hey, I've just been diagnosed with throat cancer. I have 6 months to live. This is what I would like to do with my policy. So you guys have to keep into consideration these things in case they happen to you. So I'm going to answer a couple questions. A question that you may have is, you can say, well, if one of these things happened to me, how can I use my money? What would I use my money for? That's simply up to you. You can use your money for whatever you want to use it for. If the doctor tell you you got 6 months left to live, what is it that you want to do? Have you ever even thought about that? Like, it's pretty weird, but it's realistic. Like, have you ever even thought about that? Like, what would you want to do? You don't know what it is you want to. It's up to you. You can pay for care or treatment that may not be covered in your health insurance plan. You can replace income loss as a result of your illness, provide for in-home care or facility, or bring your entire family together during a difficult time. That healthcare facility part, that's a huge one, because I do know that when people are diagnosed with, or they're like, oh well, you have 3 months to live, they put you in hospice. When you're like, I my godmother that raised me like was put in hospice, right? Hospice is really effed up. Just be real with y'all. They have some really nice people in there, not all of them, but hospice, if not okay. So let's just talk our parents, right? Because our parents are older than us, right? Our parents are, typically should reach that age before we do, right? So have you ever thought about, if one of your parents have to go on hospice, and if you have to take care of them, if you don't have a place in your home for them to live, if you have a job that you're stuck and secluded to, you don't have the freedom, and then you don't have the money, are you able to bring your mom home and let her live in comfort with you guys and your family, and take care of her while she's going through her last months to live? Or do you have to let her go in hospice? They have 24/7 access and help there that she needs. And then you have to go in hospice. Listen, whatever income it is that your family member may have. I was using mom as an example. however much income your mother has, they're going to take all of her money. It's very expensive to live in hospice, to rent a bed there in that slum hole, right? When and then they pay these CNAs eight, nine, $10 an hour to do all this extraneous work. And I really always believe that they deserve way more money than that working in there. But that's a whole nother thing. So they take all of your money, they're gonna rob your mom money every month. She's not gonna get treated well as if she was home. But the families, we have to do this sometimes. Like it happens every single day to millions of people around the world. So having this a policy with enough money, or having a real nice amount of money, that can help with certain things, because you could say, okay, if we have, let's say you have a $500,000 policy, and they're like, okay, well, your mom is not going to live for 4 months. Okay, so now you just got to get with the family or whoever the decision makers, and decide what is it that we want to do. Okay, well, she has this policy. This is terminal illness, so we can collect some money out of it. So let's take 200,000 out of the 500,000 and go ahead and pay the facility and get her in a separate department in a facility where our counterparts are the wealthy, right? They treat them much better. They really do. Or let's say, let's take $200,000 off the policy, pay off the house that mom just bought and worked so hard for. She still got a balance on it. Let's pay that off so we could keep it, and figure out a way to get things done. So it definitely is a use and a need in having such a really high death benefit. When your death benefit is low, you don't have room to make decisions, and things are going to happen. That's just the bottom line. Why is life insurance with living benefits so popular now? Most life insurance policies only protect the family after passing. So if you're like, okay, yeah, I got life insurance through, and let me tell y'all this too. If you only have life insurance through your job, when you leave that job, or you get laid off, well, jobs aren't secure anymore right now, bottom line. So let me just put that out there. I don't care if you've been with them for a good 8 years, right? Giving them your all. They're not secure. They will let you go at a good 15 years, giving them their whole damn life. They will let you go. So never get too comfortable in these work environments. And it's sad, but it's the truth right now. And it's going to be like this, right? So say you have a job, you've been there 7, 8 years, and this has only ever been the only source of life insurance you have. Do you know that life insurance you have through your job, and you love it? Oh, they gave me 50,000. They only take $10 out my check every pay. Cool. Life insurance through your job is considered group coverage. Group coverage is meaning that whatever company that life insurance, that insurance company is, they have this made a group package for your company. If you work for Wells Fargo, the insurance company has made a group package for Wells Fargo employees. Now, Wells Fargo employees, they say, okay, well, give us $10 a month. We'll give them 50,000 in insurance, right? Because they know that the person is not going to be at the job forever. And then not even that, it's so many stipulations in group coverage that you guys don't even know about. I've heard so many stories about families not being able to collect from insurance companies through jobs when their family member has transitioned. They've had to deal with such crazy things, right? Not having money for burials, like families don't have money. My advice to you and to everybody, and I always say this, is nothing wrong with having life insurance through your job, but the bottom line is it's not enough money. You should have permanent life insurance outside of work. And yes, it is a part of your monthly expense. If they taking $10 out, $15 out of each pay every month, you cannot miss it. Let them take it out, keep it. Open you up another life insurance policy outside of work. You have full control over it. You have ownership of it. You can call Nationwide, State Farm, Transamerica every single day if you wanted to, and change things. Life is one way today. I need life insurance for these purposes right now, but then 6 months from now I have a baby or we buy another house or all these things happen, right? You need to shift it. You need to change the insurance. Things will take away, things will increase. So as life is constantly evolving, our life insurance, our income, our expenses is constantly evolving. That's why we need to play a constant role every single week. I would say not day, but at least weekly, and be mindful of these things. That's super important. Because if you don't adjust, then you're simply living how you used to. And if you haven't adjusted, then how can I still progress and get to the next level functioning on how it was before when it's not like that no more? Term life insurance policy with a living benefit provides valuable access to accelerate your death benefit while you are alive. People see it's a smart way to have funds they need without having access to retirement funds such as a 401k or liquid assets, right? So this is another way to play without having to go in your 401k as well, because that's another route that people would go in the event that something happened. They know they've been at this job for 7, 8 years. They have they have a 401k. And they're like, oh, well, I built up such and such. The first place people are going to go is try to pull out their 401k money. So, in order to not keep backing yourself up, putting yourself in more and more extraneous financial hardships, you got to play the game right. So, I wanted to give you guys the lowdown and a breakdown of a term life insurance policy with living benefits. If you have any questions on this, send me a message, contact me. I'll help you out, help you with some questions. If you need a free quote, another thing I would highly suggest to you guys too, you have children, get all of your children, they need their own policy. Sometimes we have to start off adding them on to us with a little $2,000 to $5,000 and things like that. If something happens to them, we'll usually add to it. But let's stop thinking life insurance is just death benefit, because it's not. Life insurance is a wealth building tool. It is something that can be passed down for generations. So your child, life insurance for a child can be started as early as 15 days old. And I'm not telling you something that we learn as agents. I'm telling you something that I've personally done. And yes, our counterparts do it, and that's how they pass down wealth. And it's very inexpensive when, and again, we're talking that age thing and that good health, right? It's very inexpensive for a child. I started my son out with a permanent policy IUL of 100,000. I think he was like 11 years old. He's 16 now. He have a little over 500,000 now. On his 16th birthday, I just added another one on. So what I decided to do was, I have different life insurance. I have two different life insurance policies for him, but each one of them are going to play a different role. So my plan for my 16-year old, the $100,000 one will be one eventually he take control over when he's ready. That will be his investment fund that he play with, his investment account that we're typically going to keep fueling it over the years and just take out and focus on the investment side of it and use that money to flip into assets. And then he has the other one where we'll just keep building it up and just keep letting it roll. We'll use that one as some wealth to pass down. So again, this process is based on what you want your life insurance to do. So before somebody sell you on something that you don't need or it's not enough, or you're like, oh yeah, the guy he just like ask questions, guys. Know what it is that you need and you want before you even have the conversation. And when you do, nobody can sell you. If you have any questions and you need to know some things about this term life insurance policy or anything for that matter, holla at your girl, contact me. As I told you guys before, with tax refund coming into play, this is the perfect time for you guys to pay your premiums up for the year. I had two of my clients in Charlotte reach out to me and they're like, hey, da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, just call them up, give them your policy number, go ahead and pay them out for the year on your premium. That's what they want to do to get it out the way, because both of them are actually in the process of buying a house 2022, and they don't want to have that extra monthly bill. And I think that that's very responsible, and it's the great way to do it, because you don't have to worry about every month another bill. So when you get your tax refund, keep in mind things like this. Pay off your stuff that's super, super important for the year. Thank you so much. Wasted experience. Have a fantastic day, guys. If you're not subscribed to the email list, if you need an insurance quote, if you need any business necessities, whatever the case may be, holla at your girl, www.faithfamilyfinance.co. And I hope you guys have an amazing day.